Welcome to PrepsNet Coach Speak with Fultondale High School head football coach Jake Hogan, powered by the Fultondale Wildcats shop. Visit FultondaleWildcats.com for all of your Wildcats gear. Here's your host, Aubrey Johnson.
Welcome in, Coach.
Thanks for being here, Aubrey.
All right, so 2 weeks ago you had a bye week. It gave you time to heal and rest up ahead of the matchup with Hamilton. That game was a bit of a difficult game for you. You lost 62-15. Tell us about that night.
Well, it wasn't, as coaches, we always talk about 5 plays,
Oh, yeah.
I think that in my career, I'm not sure that I've seen one that they were more defined than that moment. First off, hats off to Hamilton. I think that they do coaching staff did a good job, had a good game plan, and their quarterback's a tremendous football player. He, our game plan going in was to try to disrupt him as much as we could, and
sure.
We did that, and he was a lot more the one surprise that we had. We knew that he was kind of the guy, and what he hadn't put on film up until that point, I don't think, was his elusiveness. We had, in the first half, we had 8 sack opportunities where we got guys into the backfield and actually hands on them. There was one instance we had them in a 3rd and 16. We had 2 guys get through, and he ends up making both of them miss and going for a first down. So, I mean, it was – but, we come in, and our first play from scrimmage was a pick that actually hit our receiver right in the hands and just bounced up, just a boom, boom play. And I thought that our defense came out and played really hard. They were on a short field, but, made them go 5 plays to earn it. And then we get the ball back, go 8 plays and a punt, which, you end the offensive series with a kick. That's a successful series. And then they come back and score again, and that was a 12-play drive. So I'll take that all day, Obviously the message is try to get off the field, but we're making them snap again. We made them earn it. And then we go on a 13-play drive, and we get a touchdown called back, opportunity to make it 14-7, and it was – I just say that it was a questionable call, but on the road, it's a call that you've got to be able to overcome, and then we end up missing a field goal.
Right.
And then they have an explosive play. They end up breaking a long run for a touchdown, and then I think probably the best coaching decision that they had all night, they hit us with a surprise onside right after that, and they end up putting that in. And at that point, we're kind of playing catch-up a little bit and trying to force a few things that probably weren't the best decisions, but, the thing that Aubrey, we've talked all year about our youth and everything, and that didn't change Friday night. We started 9 ninth graders, and the message has been that although I felt like they carried out the game plan very well, they just didn't finish. And that's kind of where we are. And I think, our kids hadn't quit. They're fighters. They're resilient.
Sure.
But the good news was that we actually put ourselves in positions to make plays. Now we just got to make the plays, and that's it's obviously the next step in the process. So we look forward to an opportunity to go out there and try to take that step.
Okay. Very good. So what was the injury bug like? Did you have any major injuries this week?
Yeah, we had one. C. White, one of our senior defensive end, plays the sniffer back for us. He's got a sting on his shoulder. He's supposed to be going to the doctor to get it checked out. So he ended up missing. I think he went out early second quarter. We're hopeful that that's going to be minor and get him back. But that's really it. That's the only one that we've got looming.
Okay. All right. So this coming Friday, you have Haleyville. They are winless on the season, Coach. What do you expect to see from the Lions?
Well, they're in a similar situation with us. I think that they're young. I mean, their scheme offensively and defensively sound. They're just looking to make plays. They're looking for who those guys are, and they've yet to emerge. And I think that it's an opportunity for us to go out there and compete and hopefully come out on the good side of things. But it's not going to be an easy task by any means.
Okay. On the 17th, you play at Cordova, and they're 2-4 on the season so far, so kind of give you a barometer there. How will you prepare for the Blue Devils?
Cordova's a pesky 2-4. I think their record's a little misleading. They're a good football team. They run the ball effectively. You know, they play a very physical brand of ball, and that's right. I think that it's a game that could go either way. So I mean, I think whoever's prepared best and executes their game plan the best is going to be the team that comes out on top of that one.
Okay, great. So a little bit different question here. What player has really, in your eyes, come along this season and kind of come out of nowhere and kind of surprised you a little bit?
Well, you know, again, going back to what we talk about with all the ninth graders that we have playing, I could talk for hours about any of them, to be honest with you, because I'm very pleased at the growth that all of them have shown. I mean, just from where we started to where we're going, it's good. But the one that really stands out to me would be Ross Christie. He came to us this summer, and man, from the moment he got here, he's just been an impact player. He's made plays on offense, defense, special teams. So I mean, he's been a very welcome addition to our program. But again, Aubrey, I could talk for hours about any of them. I mean, we've got a couple of young offensive linemen that have stepped up into big roles. Same thing on the defensive side of the ball. You know, right. So I mean, I'm pleased with the growth out of that young group for sure.
Sounds like the future's bright, Coach.
I think so. It's at the end of the day, it's going to be a matter of them deciding that the future's bright. But I think we've got a group that wants to be just that. They hadn't, you know, we hadn't lost anybody. Nobody's packed up shop. They still show up and punch their time card, and they get to work. So I'm pleased with those young kids.
Nice, very nice. So, Coach, that's our show. We appreciate your time. As always, we appreciate you. Join us again in a couple of weeks for another Fultondale edition of Coach Speak.